Hello everyone, welcome to this tier list video. Today we're going to be talking about Canadian firearms and we're going to kind of keep it a little bit different. So we're not going to keep just only semi-autos and we're not going to only keep military class firearms. I'm kind of keeping more of a broader list of all the firearms and what I think of them. Now I'm obviously pretty limited because I don't want to do every single one because it's going to be too time consuming and I'd just rather do it a little bit more simple. So we're going to start off with a pretty simple one. We're going to start off with, I'm categorizing this as all of the 9mm carbine rifles. And I'm going to put them in a solid B tier. I think these are all pretty solid guns most of the time. It's just more so what preference you want and what price range. They all run pretty reliably. They all have some pretty good mag compatibility with Glock mags or Beretta mags, and you could kind of tactify these quite a bit, put a lot of accessories. So I think these are getting a solid B because they're all kind of in the same category, including the newest one to the list, the Smith & Wesson. But yeah, that's what I think of the 9mm carbines. All right, next we're going to be, let me take a look here. Okay, we're going to get into, well, actually, let me see here. Let's do this one. This is the Type 97. And I'm going to incorporate all of the generations of rifles that are in here. So, anyway, this gun, when it first came out, was not that great. Second generation, a little bit better. Third generation, it's kind of at its max peak. Like, there's nothing really much to fix about it. The best thing I could say about these is their price range is really good, and it's a military class firearm, so it was made for a contract of some sort, so it's a pretty reliable system. It's also very accurate, and it's quite a good deal. Like, only thing that's really lacking about it is the ergonomics of the safety, and they're not having a bolt release, and the magazines being a little bit of an issue. Depending on what mags you get, they may or may not fit. But yeah, the Type 97... a solid firearm. Let me take a look here. Let's take a look at this thing. So this is the, what is it? The Ruger American Ranch. And I think I only have like 2 or 3 bolt actions on this list. This is probably the best bolt action for whenever we can't get ARs or semi-autos anymore. This just takes AR mags. You can get in 7.62 by 39, 223. You can kind of put all your tactical accessories on this, like a scope. I don't know if you can really put a light on this, but I don't think so. But also really good about this is that all of the folks in Australia and in the US, you can get access to these, and these are pretty awesome. If I was to rock a bolt action in the fight, this is what I would run. All right, let's take a look at a banger rifle, SKS. This, and I'm going to go into detail about a couple of the other guns on this list. The SKS is by far the best rifle, at least right now. It used to be much better back in the day because it was only about $100 to $200. I got mine when it was only $200. And the best thing about these, they're everywhere. Parts are, well, I don't know about parts, but you can get different stocks for these. You know, you can get different cleaning kits. You can get different rails and things for this thing. There's a lot of parts for this. But the number one thing about this, even if you don't have the stocks and stuff, I keep mine the way it is. I'll probably put this in the same category as the tactical ones, or they'll be like maybe A tier because they don't run as well, especially with the new tactical mags. But the best thing about this is that you can get ammo for super cheap, and you can get the really big crates of 1,500, 1,100, and even like the 550 on stripper clips for this. You can buy the rifle and the ammo from Cabela's under like $1,000 right now. These are running about, I'd say 400 to 800, depending on the model you get. You can get the Honor Guard and stuff like that, but this is by far the best because the ammo, and I'm going to go into, this is going to kind of apply to all the 7.62 by 39 rifles. This is the best in class for preppers. It's the best in class for range users, pretty much anybody, even beginner shooters. When I was a beginner shooter, this was the best because you can get ammo for so cheap and so much of it. Like, I think it's almost cheaper than 22 ammunition. I think 22 ammunition is like 18 cents a round or 20 cents a round, and then this is like 28, which is crazy to think about. All right, let's do another bolt action. Savage Axis. These are hunting, right? This is a hunting rifle, right? And I'm going to put the Ruger American in this too. These are both just basic hunting rifles. They're really cheap. You can get any ammo, any chambering for these pretty much that are typical hunting rounds. You can get some pretty budget long-range rifles out of these, I would say. Only thing is they don't have the accessibility of the magazines. They're also really long rifles, and these are really mainly only built for hunting. You can kind of see where you'll notice like a trend here with the semi-autos. I think more of in terms of end times and end days, and if like we got invaded or something as a country, or whatever, where we need a reliable system to rely on. For other purposes, all of these rifles can do multiple purposes most of the time. I mean, doing sport and shooting or whatever, just going to the range, take this. You can take all of these to the range. If you're going to competition like 3-gun, maybe run these two, and you could probably run this too. But then it's like, let's say you're running trap or like shotgun, obviously none of these are going to apply, but I'm thinking of the more baseline of semi-autos and can kind of compare these on a whole. But yeah, great rifles, great price ranges. I have a Savage Axis, and I'm considering getting either one of the Ruger Americans or the American Ranch just because they're quite nice. All right, let's look at a shotgun now. And actually, I'm gonna put this and this in the same category. Actually, take this down just a bit. This is the Maverick 88, and this is the Mossberg 590, and I actually think I have the 500 here too. I'm going to put these all in the same category. The reason I'm putting these in the same category is just because they're the same shotgun, just in different price ranges. Obviously, I'll put this one just ahead. I'm going to put this ahead too, and I guess this behind. I have a Maverick 88. The thing is awesome. Only thing it doesn't like is Challenger ammunition, but I think that's just the ammunition problem. Other than that, this thing has never had an issue. I'm sure none of these would have issues either. Just kind of what price range you want. I'd rather have more of the Maverick so I can arm more of the people that I know if we ever got invaded or apocalypse came around. You never know. Than these two. But these are very good options. My preference is just quantity over... I don't really know if quality, because the quality build of these is just so nice. Just, I guess this is not as polished as these are. Anyway. Benellium 4. Only reason it's going down here, a lot of you guys are probably like, what the hell, man? That is like S tier, man. It's in all the video games, all the action movies. I know it's in all the action movies. The reason why this is right here, and I'm going to bring these two guns up, I guess, is because these two guns exist. This is the Mossberg 940 Tactical, and this is the Beretta 1301. And I think they make a 930 as well. I don't know, but the newer ones too. These are all under 1,000 in the US, I believe, or about 1,000. In Canada, these are like under $2,000. You can get these. These things are going to run you with tax about $3,000, and for what you're getting out of this, you can get the same out of these. You can put a lot more stuff on, well, I wouldn't say you can put a lot more. You can put the same stuff on either one of these. You can get the same sights for these and everything, but if you're wanting to run a tactical shotgun, at least in Canada, you can only get 5 or 6 rounds out of these. If you go slowed one, maybe 7 if you're lucky. But I'd much rather have these pump actions over these. Only reason these are actually, you know what? I'm going to switch these around. Just because you can get more ammunition in the pump actions and you can't get as many in the semi-autos, but the semi-autos are really good. If you're running competition, these are quite nice. If our capacity got changed, these might make a move around, but even still, these are kind of almost in the same category. I just prefer pump actions just because they're so much cheaper and you can get more of them. All right, let's take a look here. This is going to be a controversial one. This is going in S. The Tavor X95 is the upgraded version of the Type 97. You can get the same magazines for it, but this has the better ergonomics than this. This has a bolt release on it. It has a much easier access safety, a lot of ambidextrousness, plus you can change it to left-handed. In fact, one of my friends wants to get one of these, and he's left-handed. He wants to get one of these just because it's super cool, it's different, it's a high-quality firearm and a military firearm, built for a contract, built for a reason. These are really reliable. But I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of these, but I do respect their reliability and their use case in Canada. You can get a lot more tactical accessories on this than an SKS or even this thing, so I do see the appeal. But yeah, these are reliable, and the 308 is going to kind of go up here, even though I don't think a lot of people own the 308. All right. This is just a Ruger 1022. Obviously, it's going in S. Pretty much no other 22 stands up to this. This is the best 22 out there. You can get so many parts and accessories, chassis, everything. I don't need to explain. You guys know the drill. Let's do a little bit of a different one. The Chris SMG. Now, I've kept this separate from the 9mm because this is probably the best. I'm not saying for reliability or anything. These can all have reliability issues, but this one is the most well-known. I think the design is cool. I think there's a lot of charm to this, but this is like the highest quality that I would be willing to go is the Chris SMG. It's iconic. It's in video games and everything. That's the only reason I would take this. Now, you guys might be thinking, oh, what about the BNT stuff? There's a lot of BNT rifles. This is the category of all of them. The ACP, the APC or whatever it is, the 223, the 9mm, and the 308, they're going in F. Reason they're going in F? Yeah, I know. They're military class firearms that the Swiss military or special forces, whatever, use. $4,000 for a 223 rifle, you're out of your flipping mind. Like $3,000 for a 9mm, like I'd rather just go with this thing. Or even the Ruger PCC. And then the 308, $5,000, like are you freaking kidding me? Like for this price, it's way too expensive. Most people, like this is a military firearm, this is a military firearm, this is a military firearm, this one is too. These are all like under $3,000. I mean, this maybe not so much, but under $3,000. $5,000, like what you're gonna shoot this thing a couple times and then freak out because your gun is dirty? No. This is not a firearm I would be willing to buy. If there were SCARs, like SCAR 17s, SCAR Heavies, and like the SCAR 15s or whatever, or SCAR 16, I think, I would get that over this. This is the bolt release on this, on the 308 and the 223. The bolt release is a push down. Why would you make it a push down? Like make it a button. The button is the whole appeal of these. This is a button on this thing. Why is it such a cheap design to push? Ugh, hate that. Actually, okay, we're going to go into this thing. This is the SU-16 by Kel-Tec. Don't know much about it. Thin barrel. They are... I don't know what to categorize that. This isn't a tactical rifle. This is almost like a semi-auto hunting rifle that they put inside a chassis. They made it accurate. They made a really thin barrel for this thing. It's pretty much a survivalist barrel, like a survivalist gun. You can fold these and stuff. But honestly, like, would I take it over? Yeah, I guess I would. This takes AR mags, which is kind of nice. You can get some tactical accessories if you want. I'd say for beginner shooters or just people that want a rifle for, worst case scenario, I think this would be an okay option. Not the best, but it's okay. But yeah. Actually, you know what? We're going to go into these two rifles. This is the Troy pump action rifle, and then this is every single bolt action AR lookalike. Other than the BCL Bisons, I think, which are like a true bolt action rifle, this just rides on a fucking spring. This is a overpriced piece of shit. This is $1,500 for a 223, 308, 6.5. Same thing for this. These are pieces of shit. If you put these in the US, nobody would buy these. No one in their right mind would ever buy these. And I don't understand what the appeal is of this, because why would you run a pump action rifle? These options up here are your rifles, your semi-autos. Hell, even I'd take these things over these any day, because this is at least a semi-auto. This isn't. This is an overpriced piece of crap. You don't get these things. Who's running these? You'd be better off with like a shotgun or a regular bolt gun like these, because at least it's a traditional style rifle. And I don't like these. These are stupid. I don't understand if Pierre Pavier gets in the office and puts all of the guns back to where they were, and I'm going to get into some other guns that are on this list, these things would absolutely no one would buy these. They would run them get $500, get these off the shelves, then maybe they might sell. And even then, ARs can be under 500 sometimes. So still, no one would buy these. All right, let's go into let me see here. Let's go into another S tier. Again, Type 81, all the designs. The first generation was they were okay. They were pretty good. I don't think they were everyone's favorite because you couldn't really put lots of parts on or accessorize these as much. Now the market's flowing. You can get like go through the generations. You have the LMG model, which was I think the second generation. I mean, it has just a thicker barrel and it had the bipod on it, which was pretty cool. The SR, the sniper rifle, also has that thick barrel, but it also has a really awesome scope. And for $2,000, like getting a scope with this thing, like you're pretty much set. You just need now a chest rig and some magazines and you're set with this thing. Then the M, which I have the underfolder, couldn't get the fixed stock. I wish I had the fixed stock, but the underfolder's cool. It's nice. Norinco is basically just flooding the market with how many, like, what can we do with this rifle? I'm sure we're going to get like Dracos at some point too. And maybe even get like a 223 version. Oh, that'd be sick. Get like a 223 version of this, like a 545 almost. That'd be sick. If Norinco again makes these two rifles and makes some SKSs, both military rifles, both extremely reliable. Like I said, 7.62x39 is pretty much Canada's fighting cartridge, so you can find ammo super cheap for these. They're reliable. I've actually, my SKS jammed more than this thing. This thing has never jammed once. Only if you put the magazine in wrong, but that's, ammo being proper in this gun still jammed. But the only reason why this jammed is because the mag wasn't inserted properly. Put the back in, it was one of my friends shot it. But this thing, honestly, Norinco is flooding the market. Even if they make something that's like relatively niche, it's still going to be bought because no one else is making AKs like these. These are pretty, I would actually consider these not on par, but definitely in competition with AKs. If the market in the US was flooded by these, that last round bolt hole open, like that could be a really good feature. Really reliable. I love this thing. I think this is the best rifle on the market right now. And even if ARs came back, and when they do, I think this thing will still be in the market. This thing will still be flooding off the shelves. Because even when ARs were around, when this thing came out, people were buying these. And these things are awesome. Now let's get into something that's a little bit more interesting. The Kel-Tec RBD. I'm going to put it over here. I don't personally like these. I think they're really weird with the ejection port being at the back and on the bottom. You can't really check for malfunctions with these, which is what I don't like about these. I will say, pretty ergonomic. You can get a 308, you can get a 223, So pretty much, it almost looks like they're KSG, but they made it into a rifle. If you guys like these, I think these are okay. And I'm not a fan of them, but, I do see the appeal. I do see why people would like these. No. Actually, we're going to put this... No, down here. This is the M10X. I think every generation I've seen, every video I've seen on this, it has had some sort of issue. This is supposed to be like a DMR 7.62x39, which, yeah, it has that going for it, but pretty much just, this thing sucks. Every single time I've seen issues with it, whether it's with the barrel, whether it's the gas system, not cycling, magazines, doesn't matter. This thing never, ever ran right. If they got it right the first time, maybe it would be like up here in A or B, or maybe S, if it's very, I'm putting it very lightly, but they messed up so bad that no one wants these. No one's going to want them. Now let's talk about one that's actually pretty decent. Let me see. This is the WK-181, I think, 181C. Now the first generations, these things sucked. These things are garbage. The new ones, the Gen 2s, these are awesome. Canada's fighting cartridge, only reason it's down here is because I don't trust the 180 design that much. And if ARs came back and we had these, I would much rather take an AR or Type 81. Or if we get AKs, that'd be kind of fun. Type 56s. We can get actual Norinco ones if we got the Chinese imports. We were allowed to get AKs and get the Chinese ones. Ooh, that'd be awesome. But 7.62x39, fighting cartridge. The rifle is fine. A lot of people do like these, some of them don't. I kind of think of this as like a CMMG mutant, which I kind of really like. But then the new generations that are coming out, the Gen 3s, probably be a little bit higher, maybe top of A. All right, let's talk about a little bit of a goofy one. This is the SL8, I think. I don't personally like these. The thumb hole stock is really stupid. It doesn't fit my hands or my friend's hand very well. Plus proprietary magazines. I do think you can get stand eggs for this to fit with a different lower. They're pretty expensive, but you do get a pretty decent rifle. I mean, German military, like, they make fantastic guns. HK is awesome. I wouldn't personally run this just because I would much rather take like a Tavor over it, but I do think these are good. I think if you have the time and have the money, I'd say you can go for this. It's a little bit cheaper than a Tavor, but you do have to spend that extra money to get the Stanag Magwell. I think these shoot okay. They're not the best triggers. I don't know if they have a bolt release. They might, I think, on the bottom of the trigger, like right there. But even with charging handle, I think these are solid. I think this is a little bit better charging handle than the Tavor because this folds up when you aren't using it, but it's solid. 180, WK 180, the original that started it all. I'm going to put it above the bolt action. The Gen 1's garbage. My girlfriend's father, he had one of these when the ban happened, had to get rid of all our ARs. And he said this thing just does not feel the same. It does not feel the same as an AR. Now, the newer ones, Gen 2s, Gen 3s, are coming out this year, I think. The Gen 3s are. I think these are reliable systems. I think they're okay systems. But at the same time, when ARs come back, no one's buying these. No one's going to buy these. For the time being right now, we're not allowed ARs or pistols. So there will be a time, like 10 years from now, where people will still have these. And they'll be like, dude, remember when this was all we had? Plus, these things are so expensive. Like, they cost more than this and this. This is in the same category as this, and I'd much rather have one of these than this. These two, reliable, accurate. You know, some people didn't like the Type 97s, the original ones, but the Gen 3s are amazing. The Gen 1s of the Type 81 and the Gen 3, I don't even know if it's generations. It's just different models, pretty much. But we'll say this is a Gen 3. Gen 3 and Gen 1s were perfect. Gen 1s and Gen 2s weren't as much, but Gen 3 is perfect. These, I still feel like the quality control is like half and half. Like a 50% chance of getting a dog shit rifle that doesn't last 1,500 rounds. Then the other half, it goes to 3,000. Like, I don't know. I don't trust these. Actually, we're going to take, this is the Siberian, BCL Siberian. We're going to take the Crusader Arms Templar, and we're going to take the Crypto, the Crusader Arms Crypto. The Crypto, I think the main reason I don't like it is because I believe it takes its own proprietary magazine, which, again, when ARs come back, no one's going to buy this. This is still overpriced. $2,000, and you have to get a proprietary mag for it, and it only takes 5 rounds. I mean, all of these only take 5 rounds, but you can't get extended mags for these, so getting chest rigs and stuff for this is going to be super stupid. Plus, the name is stupid. I don't know why they, like, I can understand why the WK 180 is called the 180 WK, like the company name plus the design it's after, like the Type 81 and then the Type 97, like just categorizing them like this is a 180 design. But if you're going to call, like, Templar, I don't really know what that is. Siberian, like, that's a pretty cool name. I think that's kind of nice. But Crypto, like a stupid fake-ass currency that has had probably more scams than successes in it. Like, call this thing like the H3 Battle Axe. Call this, the Crusader Arms, like, you know, Claymore Sword. Like, I don't know. Call it something like Crusader Arms. Crusader. Call this, like, go after, like, historical names or just give this thing a better name. Like, this is a stupid thing. It's pretty much just an AR-15, but it's not, technically, because it's a brand new design. But I hate that. Now, the Templar and the Siberian, lots of issues. People talking about the Gen 1s and Gen 2s still not up to par to where they need to be. Again, when ARs come back, no one's going to buy these. Like $2,000. These are all like $2,000 each. The WK, I think, is a little bit less, and the Gen 3s are going to be like, you know, again, why would you not pick up one of these? I'd rather pick an SKS than one of these, just because this is more reliable and parts are going to break on this. Nothing's broken on mine. And even if one did break, you could buy another one for like under $1,000. You'll have 2 rifles, and then you only have one of these. You can get like 4 rifles, have 4 SKSs by you. When you run out of ammo, just pick up another one. Like, no one's going to want these. Anyway, the FEME 543, I think. These are pretty interesting. Pretty expensive. They're like 3,500, another military firearm. But I think the appeal of this is this just reminds me a lot of like a 5.56 AK, like an AK-101 in Daisy or something. Like, this is pretty sick. It is exotic. It is pretty nice. It's in the upper end of firearms, but if I look at it this way, 3,500 for this, 3,500 for the freaking B&T like 9mm. I'd rather have this thing. It's like, oh, I can buy this 9mm, or I can buy this. Like, this is like the tippy top of what I would want to buy if I was to ever get one. I don't think I ever will, but if I had the money, had the time, funds, definitely consider one of these. Now, the last firearm on this list, the BCL Grizzly, the 308. If it's anything like the Siberian, it's going all the way down here, because this will be a huge disappointment. Canada, I'm just going to set this down for a second. I guess it's going to sit down there. Canada does not have a 308 battle rifle other than the B&T. They have, or the Kel-Tec RBD. There's nothing that is an AR style that is chambered in 308. Now, they did have the BCL 102 and the BCL 102 Gen 2, which I think was way better. But even back in the day, like an AR-10 that was 308 that you could get in non-restricted was amazing. Like, everyone loved it. Everyone bought one. And then even if it wasn't up to par, it was still an AR. You still got it. Now, there's not really any reviews on it. It's still brand new to the public, so it still has to run through the paces. If this thing turns out to be as good as it is and has no issues, it's going up here. Because this is like an SLR. But if, let's say, it's the same 50-50, it's going down here. Only reason this is better is because it's 308 and it's more exotic and cool. And let's say it's like half and half, like it doesn't like certain magazines or it doesn't like certain ammo types, it'll go right here. Only reason, again, why it's not up here, it's not 7.62. This will run you so much money. Considering the fact that BCL has made like tons of firearms that are not really up to par, I'm gonna put it right here. Or actually, you know what? I'll put it right here, just for now, because I have no one has any idea how these are gonna. This has been in the production for like 2 years now. If this thing turns out to be a huge letdown, like that's gonna be shitty. And again, if ARs come back down here, no one will buy any of these AR lookalikes. And when ARs come back, ARs will just be the tippy top of S next to the Type 81. Anyway, that is my video. I know it was a kind of a lengthy one, but I did kind of go into detail about all of these. I'm just going to give a good look over. Type 81, SKS, Tavor, and Ruger 1022. Oh, and probably we'll put the Maverick 88 too, because I really like that thing. Those will be your tip-top firearms. Only reason why the shotguns aren't up here is because it doesn't stand up to the same rule as a rifle does. But anyway, yeah, as opposed for recording this video, this is November 21st. It is 2024. And hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.